If you're talking sports, it's the matchup. Mickey here with Zizzy, are we cutting it up? Just a couple athletic enthusiasts. You know what it is, the Mickey Zizzy Podcast. What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's Donut Saturday. It's episode 18, season 3, season motto, bigger and better. And you know who we're brought to you by. We're talking Pinnacle Supplementation. Make sure you get the best of your health and wellness needs. Go ahead, pinnaclesup.com, check them out. They're going to do everything they can for you. It's awesome. They got crazy bundles, crazy merchant. Get the Mickey Zizzy merch. Come on now. Get it with your free discount code, Mickey Zizzy, on the site, pinnaclesup.com. On top of that, you know we got our man. I can't even do all the nicknames today. It'll make me laugh too much. But I can't even do them all today. But the man, G for 3, Grant Anderson, OBL extraordinaire. Out there doing a whole lot of things. He's been dropping a lot of new content on his social media pages. Go out there, check him out. He's really pushing his basketball journey along, and it's really cool to watch him and be a part of. So just tap in, listen in, tune in on all of these episodes. We got a lot of content coming for you ourselves. But before we get into that, of course, I'm Zizzy. This is Mickey. What is going on, brother?
Jones, scones, and bones, zappy, happy, and tappy. It don't matter. Bears by a million. You know, I would say the Bears got zapped, but instead, we came back and got the dub. Let's go, Bear down. Little sneak peek to the Halloween costume. I am Thor, God of Thunder. Let's go. The vibes are electric here to be a Bears fan. They've given me hope once again, and it's just the emotional roller coaster of writing on that Bears wagon, I should say. And then just like you said, go shout out Pinnacle Supplementation. Go shout out G43. All of them are doing well. And, you know, it's a new look. Some people hardly recognize me, but we're here.
That's big time right there. That's big time.
It is. But let's move on to our person of the week. Zizzy, who you got?
Person of the week this week. It's a toughie. But I'm going to go throw it back to a man that's been person of the week a few times, but Justin Futrell. And that is simply because, I don't know if anyone knows, but I'm going to put the shout out there early. We are starting to ramp up the energy, ramp up the vibes when it comes to the Tanzania Water Fund. It is back. And no, I was just having a quick conversation with him. He reached out to me, kind of getting the ball rolling again on that whole process. So just getting excited for that, and wanted to just bring it up now while we have the opportunity to get everyone on the same page and see if we can break even more records and get even more donations and stuff for another one this year.
Also, for him to add to his resume, he was the Young Achievement Award Hall of Famer for Cornell College. He now has a big old robe and like a thing, like an extra thing to put on. So if he ever comes back, like he'll be repping that Young Achievement Award. Justin Futrell's out here doing great things. Staying connected to Tanzania Water Fund. Y'all, you already know we're the biggest Tanzania Water Fund podcast. And we'll get to it when it gets to November, right? We're still in October here for a little bit. And I'll tell what I'm doing. Zizzy will tell what he's doing. Now, my person of the week. So last week, ran a half marathon. Was good through 8 miles. Then I died. But the really cool part was I was running, you know, I'm dying or whatever, doing my thing. And I see someone I know. I'm like, wait, huh? Keep on running. Meet up with him after. It was Jake Mueller. Jake Mueller went to Mount Vernon, my alma mater. It was really cool just to see someone that you know that you haven't really talked to. You're like, dude, you're running today too? That's awesome. So it was a good conversation with him. He's like, yeah, it's the farthest I've run. And it was just really cool. Like, as you're running along, I see him. It's really cool to get a little inspiration down the road. But shout out him for completing a half marathon as well. And that's my person of the week.
Hey, you gotta love that, man. Get your little exercise into, get that cardio back up. I know hey, that running's tough, man. Running's tough.
It sure is. Now we're going to start off, Mr. Zizzy, with the NFL, always our favorite. The podcast pick'ems. Zach Novick has company. Yours truly, Zachary Yankovic and Mickey Hines has tied for the lead. How about it?
Well, I'll give us a round of applause for the boys. Come on now. We're back in this. We need to win this one for once.
And we're having a pretty good thing. The other shout-outs is Haley Daly's actually up there. She's been creeping in that 5-6 area. Aaron Nickel has been a 2-time winner, so that's crazy bonkers. He's definitely moving up in the ranks as well. So it's a little quick update on your podcast pick'ems. And then fantasy football. My team's good, but they don't show out. It's going to be tough making the playoffs in the podcast fantasy. That's my quick
It's
breakdown
been
for that.
a
That's all
roll.
I got.
Honestly, every time I look at that one, it's a roller coaster. I never know what
Because
I'm
like I
going to
have a
get
good
week in.
team,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't perform.
I have a great team, but I mean, we're fluttering with 500, so see what happens.
Just like that one Dan Campbell video, Yank. How I care for my fantasy team. I think about you all the time. Crying and stuff. I'm like,
I do everything for you guys. Everything.
every day. No, so that's quick. The fun activities that we do here on the podcast. Talking NFL, already brought it up. Yank, the Bears. The Bears are back on Monday and primetime W. Yank, it felt great to score 30 points and not have to sweat in like the third, fourth quarter. Is that what winning's like? Like your first 3 weeks, that was kind of. I mean,
how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go.
It was awesome. It was kind of being like a fun fan watching him work. I mean, Justin Fields 180 for a touchdown interception, not great, but him out of the pocket, amazing. He had 75 rushing yards at half. The Bears have the best rush game statistically in the NFL. Let's ride. David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, awesome two-back duo. Both had 62 yards. That's winning football right there. Now, obviously, we can get the pass game a little bit more involved to be a little bit more successful, but our defense, both the rookies got a pick. Roquan's back. We need to pay Roquan. And the defense is doing what they need to do. And with Zappy's a pretty good quarterback. He came in through 2 tutties. I was like, oh, boy.
Had me nervous. Had me nervous.
I mean, that's my quick rundown real quick. But what do you think about that game?
Well, first off, it was great to be like. It's so funny for me because obviously we got you the full Bears bandwagon hype train, and it's weird because like I'm an occasional member of the bandwagon, an occasional, like every now and then I hop on the train, and I was ready for the Bears upset this weekend. We all were talking about it. It was coming. We felt it in our bones, and they came out and performed. It's great to see what that offense can do when they actually play to Justin Fields' strengths. I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but when they get him rolling out and using his athleticism, I mean, let's be honest. Outside of Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields is the most athletic at that position that we've probably ever seen. So for him to be able to run the ball the way he does, for him to be out in space maneuvering, it creates so many more opportunities for this offense. We're seeing some development from the receivers. I really am liking the up and coming work from Pettis. I think he's been pretty good. Obviously, Darnell Mooney's been a stud. Cole Kmet can play well, hasn't produced necessarily number wise, but he's still a good tight end. And then, of course, the two-headed monster running back duo on the backfield has been great. I mean, Montgomery's fantastic, even though he's getting a little bit older. Khalil Herbert showing his stuff, man. He's really can operate, especially in the pass game. And you're doing it against a Patriots team that's coming off of a 2-game win streak. They're feeling good. They've got all the momentum. I felt like the disruption putting Mac Jones in was definitely caused some issues with their side of things. But all in all, great win for the Bears.
It really was. And the defense, got hit and they faced adversity and they were able to bounce back. Now, the Patriots are a solid team. I mean, Stevenson is a pretty good running back, I will say. And the receivers ain't no joke either. I mean, you have Jacoby Myers and Devontae Parker, who was once a Miami Dolphin. Mm-hmm. So they're a good team, just not great. And the Bears went and took care of business I think were able to do all year. There's some rumor mill about getting rid of David Montgomery, and I think that's absolute blasphemous. I've talked to a few other buddies who thinks that. Shout out Zach Greenwell, not shout out because he thinks David Montgomery should be gone. And that's blasphemous, Yank. David Montgomery is a dog. At one point, I wanted to name my child's middle name Montgomery because he was having such a good game. You think I'm lying? David is the power back. He's the one who's going to make plays, first contact, probably not going to come down, right? He's going to go give you that spark play. It's 3rd and 7, and you run it. I'm okay with David Montgomery running the football because he can do that. On the flip side, Khalil Herbert's great. In the NFL, you need 2 good running backs to really be successful. We saw Derrick Henry does great things, right? But if he gets hurt, boom, they're done. Here, if David Montgomery goes down, sweet, we still got Khalil Herbert. We can help them stay healthy by both of them running, right? Khalil Herbert comes in. He's a little bit more of the juice. That's his nickname, Juice Box, okay? He, a little bit more of a shifty back. And you have David Montgomery power. You have that 1-2 punch. It reminds me of Brandon Jacobs and Rashad Jennings for the New York Giants way back when, right? They had one of the best 1-2 punches of running backs. And we've seen it with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in today's day, right? But even Bill Belichick said the running game for Chicago is elite. And with Justin Fields, like you said, there's Lamar Jackson and then like Justin Fields. right? I mean, there's a big gap.
We're hyping up Montgomery and Herbert. Justin Fields was the leading rusher. I mean, Justin Fields at 82 yards. He was averaging 6 yards a carry.
And Getsky's doing great. So whatever people want to hate, like he's throwing good screens at the right times. I feel like getting him out of the pocket a little bit more and more. Designed quarterback runs. Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's still more to be desired. I mean, I still think you guys could use more weapons on the outside. I still think you could use some help on the O-line because Fields is kind of he still has the sack issues and they're running along. I mean, at the end of the day, he only completed 13 passes. So, I mean, you want to see it continue to expand. But this was a major step in the right direction. And again, it's against Bill Belichick. It's the Patriots. They play great defense. They coach a good game plan. I don't know what they got going on with the quarterback stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that moving forward. So that's probably the biggest question.
I would say stick out Mac Jones, let him thrive again if he starts sucking for 2 games.
Mac Jones took you to the playoffs as a rookie. He's got a new system, new coaches around him. He's got 6 different offensive coordinators. let him ride. I agree with that take. And then for the Bears, I think it's interesting. I know you brought up the Montgomery trade rumors. If they do that, I'm actually okay with it. Personally, just because I do believe that Herbert has taken that next step this season.
And but then who's our backup?
Well, on top of that, it already looks like you guys are still trying to build around this identity that you're creating with Justin Fields. I mean, you guys just go ahead and get rid of Robert Quinn, who has the team sack record last year.
Yeah, I did not like that.
I mean, to trade him away and go get picked, I mean, you're thinking, okay, they're trying to bolster something to continue to build around this guy that they believe in. So whatever it is that they're going to go get, we're not sure, but I don't know if they go do something with Montgomery. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying that I hate it or love it one way or the other, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That's the one bad thing when new coaches come. They get rid of all the old guys, all of Nagy's guys in the Bears situation. I think that's blasphemous. Like you have Justin.
Thank college, man. Come on.
That's what I feel like right now. And getting rid of Robert Quinn, I necessarily didn't like because he was a stat leader. He broke the sack record last year. This year, through 7 games, he has not been good at all. He has not been a threat. Demarcus Robinson, the back of the rookie they got this year, he's an athlete, right? So they went with a younger guy. A 4th pick, though, yeah, I think we should have got at least finessed a 3rd or a 2nd, or a 4th and like a 6th. You know what I'm saying? I think we could have got a little bit more for Robert Quinn, but here we are, right? But that's all my last take about the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you can get more from him. I mean, what was it like? Kadarius Toney just got a 3rd and like a 5th.
He has done
something.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, it just got a 3rd and a 5th or something for the Chiefs. So I mean, I get it. I get it.
Now, moving on, my last team we're going to talk about here in the NFL is the Packers and the Commanders. Wow. Tyler Heineke with the dunk. Heineke, 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, and 1 interception. And then Brian Robinson Jr. is definitely the featured back there. 20 carries for 73 yards. He's their dude coming back from that injury. And pulled off the W. Now, the talk's talking 3-4, Green Bay Packers. Now, maybe my take was just a year too early. I'm not going to say it yet because I do not want to jinx it. I'm not going to say it, Yank. But they are struggling, and I think Green Bay is relying on the pass too much. And we know this, Yank. They do not have star receivers. Allen Lazard is good, okay? But he's having some injuries here and there, and the rookie's really trying to get with the system, trying to be thrown into it. You have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, which is another premier 2-back system, like top 7 in the league. That's duo backs. Like, they're up there. A.J. Dillon hasn't been doing too great this year. We have Aaron Jones. You ran the ball 12 times. What? You don't have your boy Devontae Adams out there anymore, right? Randall Cobb's been having a few injuries. So I think the play calling necessarily for the Packers have been really, really bad. And their defense can't hold on. Their defense isn't going to hold you under 20 points. They're going to let them score 24 to 30. Maybe not 30, like 24 to 21, right? Kind of like here, it was 23 in this game. But at the end of the day, the offense needs to produce, and they are not. And I'm going to blame it on the play calling.
I blame it on the play calling before I blame it on any individual talent. I mean, obviously, the receivers still need to continue to develop. They are getting better. I mean, I don't think that they're the worst. I don't think they're the worst. But Lazard's got talent. Aaron Jones is a catching threat out of the backfield. Dobbs isn't too bad. I mean, Tanyan is a good tight end. I mean, they've got people that can play. It's just obvious you can't replace Devontae Adams. You don't get rid of Devontae Adams and expect to become better. Like you just don't. We just have rid on the fact that Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, and we think that he can make up for the discrepancies of the rest of the team. We're learning, just like we're learning. Well, at least for the current moment, I'm still holding on to a Bucks comeback. Just wait on it. But it's the same thing that you're saying. We're used to these superstar, all-time great quarterbacks being able to overcome the adversity that comes with not as great of a team built around them. And we're not seeing it anymore, at least between Rodgers and Brady. So it's confusing. It's hard to tell, but it's the play calling. Because when you come at the end of the day, when you have A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones and you run the ball 12 times total, that's embarrassing. That's a horrible – I mean, there's no balance in that. Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 35 times. Yes, he completed it, 23 of them. Yes, he had 2 touchdowns for 200 yards. Like, okay, whatever. But that's all empty stats at the end of the day. The flow of the game is completely disrupted when you do not have the ability to rush the ball. So them not being able to do that has hurt them tremendously. And on top of that, their defense has not played up to the standards that we expected at the beginning of the season either. So here we are. And there's got to be some urgency for them now. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings have 1 loss. They are playing great football. And, I mean, we talked about them being the top 2 teams in this division, and it's going to come down to what happens here. But, I mean, the Minnesota Vikings are sitting pretty. They got to do something now.
They do. 3-4 ain't nothing. I mean, the Bears are in the same boat. And in the NFC North, you're going to have that last wild card spot. That's what I'm rooting for right now. I got to, realize the situation as a Bears fan, or if you're a Packers fan, like that 7th spot in wild card has our name all over it. You look at the NFC West, Yank, none of them have a winning record.
The team that we talked about being guaranteed. Oh, we don't even have to talk about it. Seahawks. Okay, yeah. That team is tied
leading with 3-4. Yank, they're not that good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no one from the NFC West, unless, they start changing things around. But, like, this week, San Fran and the Rams play each other. So, one of them's going to have a loss, get even lower away from being that 7th seed. That 7th seed has their name all written all over it. You have the NFC East, which they might have 3 teams go. You know what I'm saying? And the NFC South at the same time, I think the Falcons are winning that division right now. And the Bucks are at 3-4. So those 2 divisions aren't going to send someone. So if you're a Packers fan, you're rooting for that 7th spot. Same with my Bears. We're both going to compete for it by the end of the year. I'm factual. Yeah, I'm right.
Hey, I'm nodding with you. I'm giving you the nod. You get approval. I can't always argue you. Sometimes you come out with some type of fact. But yeah, any last takes on?
Nope.
No? All good? All good on the Pack? All right. Well, let's get in to my team. I mean, we got the colors on. We got the colors on. They're down there. Let's talk about the Fins though. The return of Tua. Big time. Big game for us. Very worried about him getting touched at all at this point. So that's been really stressful. Just because our O-line really still isn't up to snuff. We are improving. We've improved every year since 2018 when we were the worst NFL rated offensive line in history. So, I mean, we're improving still steadily, but still got to have some extra help there. We got hit with a bunch of injuries too. Our defense is kind of squandering right now with a few of those injuries. We might not even have Xavier Howard going into this game next week. But Tua returns. I expect a whole different type of offense and a whole different team. We hear the interviews from Raheem Mostert talking about it's not just what he can do on the field. It is a huddle thing. It's a team thing. It's an atmosphere thing. And apparently he really provides that for them. So for him to come back, provide that spark, that first drive, they came out and looked electric. I was saying, okay, this is our team. We are completely different with Tua. And moving forward, we're going to be just fine. I 100% believe that still. I'm just saying, obviously, we slowed up throughout the game. It was a little bit nerve-wracking against the Steelers team that isn't that good. But moving forward, I think that Tua is only going to continue to get better as he knocks the rust off, clears his head, and we continue to play very well. Our offense is that explosive, and as long as we can kind of recoup from some of these defensive injuries, we'll be just fine. We'll be there at the end. We're still top 6 in the AFC right now. So
the team you played is not good. I think they have a lot of problems over there. Mike Tomlin is kind of in that quarterback situation as well, just like the Patriots. And the Dolphins just won solely because they were the better team. I still love the receiving core. Waddle, Hill, Gesicki, amazing, right? Tua, was still taking hits. You're like, oh, please get up. Now they came in.
Not even that, but it's like, okay, let's hike the ball, let's pump fake, and then charge a linebacker with your head down. Like, what are we doing to it? Come on.
Yeah, so he's got to be a little bit smarter with play calls, but they were calling stuff like he was getting the ball out in 2 seconds. Boom. First read, sweep. I read, it's like, man, okay, I know this guy's going to be open. I'm going right away. But that's what happens sometimes, especially towards the end of the game. Okay, I see my first read. Shoot, I don't like it. Get rid of it. And that's what they need to do here moving forward. They still have that quicker offense, those quick hitters. Don't sit in the pocket. Let a play develop for 3 seconds. Your offensive line is going to protect them like that. We've seen it. And you just admitted that as well. But Yankees, the Steelers. Kenny Pickett.
Oh, they're beating other teams that I think are great.
Kenny Pickett is bad. Pickett more like loves picks.
Literally.
2 touchdowns for 7 interceptions, and they say Mitch Trubisky isn't the guy. The Trubisky slander is awful. Trubisky's 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's fine.
Came in at the end of the game against the Bucs and sealed it.
He sealed it against the Bucs, and that was the only game Pickett.
I was surprised. I thought that they would stick
the
with
entire
Trubisky.
Game.
I thought they would go back to Trubisky after that, but I guess not.
He went and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel a whole lot more confident in him. Pickett is clearly not ready. That's the second game this year he's thrown 3 interceptions. That's not winning football. You got to give it back to Mitch. He's only thrown 2 his entire year. Granted, he's only played in a handful of games. Let's see here. He's played about 5 games, it looks like, this year. And he's thrown only those 2 picks and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, that's him though. He plays efficient football. Mitch isn't going to be the guy that's lighting up the scoreboard, right? He's going to go down, get field goals. He's going to get first down, set your team in situations where if you have a good defense, you can win the football game. Relying on Mitch to be the dude is not going to happen. Relying on him to win football games is. Feel me on the difference?
Well, yeah. We've seen people. It's the difference between is your quarterback dominant and one of the guys like top 5 in the league, or is your quarterback a game manager that knows how to win in specific situations? It's that simple and to the point. And he's not. I do find it hilarious that his last name right now is Pickett. Literally, he's throwing it every time he throws it up. These defenders are screaming his last name. So, Pickett. Like, come on, man. It's not a good look.
Coach, what I do?
It's cool for us. Obviously, we seal it with that 3rd interception for the game winner. But I'm with you. It's not a great team. But it is coached by Mike Tomlin. It is Pittsburgh Steelers. They play typically tougher defense. They really locked up in the second half. But we still got the dub. And at the end of the day, that's all you got to do in this league. So for us to get back above 500, keep up with the 2 other teams that are playing really well in the AFC, we might have 3 AFC East teams.
Yeah, you might. That's definitely a tough division, Yank. And you want those games. That's what's going to help you to go to the playoffs is beating those teams you should. Bears should have beat the Commanders on Thursday night. That's going to hurt down the road, right? Dolphins, on the other hand.
Think about that. You get that, you're above 500 team.
Exactly. We're 4-3 instead of 3-4, right? Your team above 500 now. Okay, we're in that contention of that playoff spot. Like you said, you're in the AFC beast.
Technically, we're still 4-0 because I know Tua started the game against the Bengals, so it's a loss on his record. But technically, we're 4-0 with Tua playing the whole game. So
totally agree. No, that's the last thing I have in your Dolphins. They did what needed to be done.
Absolutely, and I'm just happy. Okay, I'm happy. I was worried. I was saying we were on life support. We were playing with that 3rd string quarterback. I was worried.
Yeah.
Right? But let's talk about the other team. And you brought it up, just kind of brought up the whole division with the NFC East. But let's talk about these Giants. And let's talk about the Giants-Jaguars game in general, just because I loved the game. I thought it was a fantastic game. Came down to the wire. Heartbreaker for Jacksonville, right? You play tough. It's a team that's supposed to beat you, at least when you're looking at record. They probably have more talent than you, but you go down, you drive on the last drive of the game, and you complete a pass to Christian Kirk. He catches it at the 2-yard line, gets to the 1, and gets stuffed. That's just that's part of it. It is what it is, but there's a lot of promising pieces with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe that. They trade away James Robinson, but Etienne is stepping into a new role. He's kind of upped his game the last few weeks. He looks really good. You got Christian Kirk. You got Marvin Jones. You got Zay Jones. You got receivers out there to help with them. The O-line hasn't been horrible. Trevor Lawrence is young and I think still prospering. He'll continue to get better. Just gotta get better on the defensive side of the ball. They do that. Jaguars can be something down the road. Quote me on that if you want to. Now we got the Giants. The weirdest 6-1 team I've ever watched, or at least like talked about, and like I don't know what to feel about them in a sense. You got Saquon Barkley, obviously back to form, looking like himself. This is the Saquon Barkley that we expect and we love. This is the one from Penn State. This is that guy. He is that dude, and the cuts that he's been making, the reads, the cutback lanes, it's impressive to watch him work. The defense, big improvement, very big improvement. And that's just been, I mean, the cornerbacks, I would have to pull up their names right now to remember exactly what their names are, but I know their corners and secondary in general have been playing absolutely lights out. Least amount of yardage and points allowed to opposing wide receivers this year in the NFL. That's electric. You have that. And then Daniel Jones, who it's hard to get a judgment on him still, but I mean, damn, is he running the ball, making it look effective? And this past week, I mean, against the Jags, probably his best game of the season. Looked effective through the air, made all the right decisions, no turnovers. And then, of course, when he's able to run like that, everybody deceptively athletic. That's how I describe Daniel Jones. His speed is pretty top tier.
Yeah.
He can get it done. But they look like a team that is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you're not 6-1 without a reason. I love the coaching. Brian Dable, Coach of the Year. That's all I got.
I hate that I'm going to agree with you about.
Oh,
I hate it because you're typically the one who makes all the bad takes here on this show.
Hey, it hasn't been a great year for Zizzy, I will say.
But the Jaguars as a whole might be the best 2-5 team we've ever seen. Trevor Lawrence, 300 yards. That's great. But you need to be able to finish drives. You need to put the ball in the end zone. 17 points isn't going to get it done in the NFL. Etienne, this is why you went and got him. 114 yards, 1 touchdown. James Robinson goes down, sweet. He's your premier back. He's going to be the guy, the face of the franchise, the guy going up on billboards. Like, all right, we're going to feed him and let him run. Christian Kirk, like you said, you forgot about Evan Ingram, who's their tight end. He's a receiving tight end. They were putting up numbers, just not on the scoreboard. On paper, if I'm being honest, on paper, the Jaguars should have won this game. I had them to win, and they lost this week. That was my kind of big upset. I thought they would, right? And it was down to the wire, which that's great football. We all love watching. On the flip side, you said it perfectly, and I hate it, but Saquon Barkley, this is why they went and got him. This is Barkley they've been waiting for the past 3-some years, right? He's had injuries, but now he is just a beast. He's out here being the face of the franchise. He's making Daniel Jones look good. He's great. And the receivers aren't nothing. Like, Slayton's okay. Wan'Dale Robinson's okay. They're okay receivers, but they're getting the job done. They're relying on the rush game. I mean, they ran the ball 40 times. Yeah, 40. Around there. I think 39 is the actual stat, but that's incredible. And that's what's going to take you. That's how you're going to run down the clock. That's how you're going to put drives together. That's how you're going to get first down. You go first, second, third, first. First, second, third, first. That's how the Giants are going to win football games, because Saquon can get you 4, 5, 4. Well, guess what? That's another first down. Ton of time off the clock.
Carrying it 24 times, but he's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. That's fine by me, dude. It's fine by me.
And at the end of the day, I mean, even Daniel Jones had 100 yards rushing last game. What? Danny Dimes? So if the Giants keep this up, Daniel Jones is playing for his job right now. And even if the Giants wanted to get rid of him and somehow finesse one of these top quarterbacks coming out of next year's draft, I know they won't get Bryce Young, so that'll go to the first, seeded team. But you could sneak some other quarterbacks down there in that draft if you really wanted to. Or if Daniel Jones keeps playing well, let him be your guy. You're 6-1, right? Yeah, keep on balling.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he was playing for his job coming into the season. At this point, he's proven there's nobody can be sure that there's a better option out there right now than him. And I mean, even someone coming out of the draft, obviously there's the top prospects, but I mean, he's given them the opportunity to start thinking like, hey, maybe we just go and get some more weapons and put some people around him, and maybe he continues to develop. I don't know. We saw what Brian Dabble did in Buffalo with Josh Allen. Josh Allen is now possibly the best quarterback in the NFL. So we'll see if he continues to take strides in the right direction, but he's off to a good start.
Yes, he is. But yeah, that's all I have about the Giants and the Jaguars. Jaguars might come back. They might be a 500 ball club. And the Giants really are going to be faced against, the Cowboys and the Eagles once again. And they're really going to see if they're that team, because right now the Eagles are the team to beat. And the Cowboys are right behind them, which the Bears got this week. And I'm put a little shout out to all y'all. Micah Parsons might not play. I'm taking the Bears or the Cowboys. That's my big upset this week. And that's not biased. That's not me. Well, a little bit being biased. But it's not. It's not bad.
You know what though? No, but like I'm in another pick'em league where it's a pick'em pool, but we do it by the spread instead. It's even harder, but it's kind of cool because like if you do well on that, you usually do well on your bets for the day. but you're doing that. And I'm picking Bears to cover the spread. I believe that. I mean, so that's a whole different story. I think that they're playing with good momentum, but to beat the Cowboys, I don't know.
Marking it down.
I don't know. All right, but let's get to it then. We got a lightning round. Let's finish it off. Let's cap off NFL. Let's get it.
We're gonna do lightning round right before we get to college football here, just to really solidify all the NFL games that were just happening. We'll talk a little college sports, and then we'll send you on your way. Once again, thanks for listening to the Mickey Zizzy Podcast. But first, you already know we gotta do that lightning round. All righty, and then after that, we are going to do college football. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start the lightning round as soon as my stuff gets all ready. Gotta play it off cool. But here we go. We are going to start off with the Thursday night game, and it was a barn burner. 42 to 34. The Cardinals have an electric W over the high-scoring Saints as well. Kyler Murray Podcast, we support this. The Cardinals might have a chance to make the playoffs. This was a must-win for them.
Must win for them, and gosh, their offense is a whole different beast when DeAndre Hopkins comes back and plays the game. We see what they've been missing with him being out. He comes off. What rust are you talking about? Cardinals taking home.
And moving on, a close one, 23-20. The Browns just can't get it done without Deshaun Watson, and the Ravens are struggling. But Lamar Jackson needs to get paid. We say it every week. Pay the man.
Hey, pay the man. I've been saying he was going to go scorched earth. He does through the first three quarters. Fourth quarter, he's been falling off. But you know what? They get the win in a tough, close game. They get the win this past Thursday night. I mean, let's go. Wins are wins. Let's get it.
And next, trouble in paradise on and off the field. The Buccaneers lose to the Panthers 21-3. The only two people to steal a ring from Tom Brady is Eli Manning and Giselle. Oh my goodness. The off the field problems, I think, are going onto the field, and you really hate to see it.
Well, I mean, it's out now, right? Finalized divorce. We know it's been plaguing Brady. You can't tell me you're playing with a clear head out there.
Not at all. I feel so bad for him.
Feel so bad for the Bucs and him right now.
And him. He's the GOAT. I mean, through and through, but tough for the Buccaneers right now. Next up, we have the Falcons versus the Bengals. The Falcons had a little bit of a chance, but oh boy, Joe Burrow said, "I'm back." Enough with the slander about the Bengals. Joe Burrow gets an easy dub.
Yeah, Joe Shiesty. I mean, coming out there. I mean, even without, we got T. Higgins injuries going on. You got Jamar Chase injuries going on. Tyler Boyd, step up, do your thing. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They've got one of the best receiving corps in the NFL. Joe Shiesty, do your thing.
Next up, the Cowboys. Easy dub, 24-6. Not much to talk about here. Dax kind of came back, did his thing. The Lions came off the bye week, not strong. The Lions were typical Lion fashion. Cowboys
I mean, that Lions defense has just been an absolute letdown this year. It was a closer game than what the score says, though. I will say that. But 24-6, first week back for Dak. They'll only get better with him moving forward.
Amen to that. Next up, the Titans win 19-10 over the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are trouble in paradise. Matt Ryan threw his arm out, or his arm is shot. But Sam Ehlinger, horns up. It will be playing next week. And the Titans just took care of business. Derrick Henry, better running back. and all be all.
Yeah, I mean, run the ball behind your beast and play good defense against a struggling Matt Ryan. Pretty much the recipe for anybody against the Colts this year.
And the Jets win 16-9. I called this one. Believe it, the Broncos are not good. They are not a good football team. Nathaniel Hackett is not a good coach by what we've seen. And the Jets, Jets, watch out. Watch out for them Jets.
Yeah, I would really enjoy the Jets to start sucking again, you know? But no, Jets are definitely a well-improved team. Big hit, though, in this game, losing Breece Hall. We're going to see how that affects them moving forward. Yes, they had Michael Carter, but all hands on deck there. The Broncos, I still believe they're a much better team than this, but I cannot explain what is going on with Russell Wilson. Everything he does even is cringeworthy now. I don't know what to do.
And then the Raiders, 38-20 The Texans, I just don't see the Texans ever winning. I bet against them every week. And the Raiders finally looking like this Las Vegas Raiders team that we've predicted in the past.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Houston, watch them. Don't sleep on Houston.
I'm sound asleep. No alarm set.
They play everybody tough, all right? They play everybody tough. They got a great running back. They got Mills Magic. Come on now. All right.
Don't put the Fitzmagic name to the disgrace like that. It's Mills Mania, if anything, but gee.
But it's true. Mills Mania isn't used because then you got Bills Mafia. So right.
Next up is
for me, it's really the Raiders offense is coming together a little bit more week by week. Obviously they had a lot of new pieces, a whole new offensive scheme, whole new head coach. You're starting to see that. You're starting to see the connection and the rapport from Derek Carr and Devontae Adams build up. Josh Jacobs, have yourself a season, son. Raiders playing tough.
Josh Jacobs, really hitting stride. Next up is the Seahawks versus the Chargers, 37-23. Huh? Geno Smith not responding, didn't write back. People writing him off. The Seahawks and DK Metcalf had a little injury there in that game, beating a very good Chargers team. The Chargers. What's going on? The Chargers team lost. Justin Herbert is not Herbert Sherbert of the past. If you're taking stock in anything, get rid of Justin Herbert. I've started Geno in the majority of my leagues. I have both of them, and like two of them, I started Geno. Herbert's really got to get something fixed up.
Yeah, I think that the Chargers are the better team, but Herbert is dealing with that rib injury or something. He's not himself right now. On top of that, Geno Montana. Geno Montana. That's it, baby. Geno Montana.
Aye. Moving on, 44-23, an absolute blowout. 44-23. Patrick Mahomes just doing Mahomey things. The Chiefs are showing everyone like, hey, we're still the Chiefs even without Tyreek Hill. And the big news of Christian McCaffrey going to the 49ers, like, let him actually learn the offense. He legit came on Wednesday, Yank, dressed out for Thursday, dressed out for like the pregame, and then played. Like, that offense is going to be scary. Wait for it. Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers. That's going to be scary. Mark my words.
We saw him on just a few runs and catches. Like, he's gonna do just fine over there in San Fran. So, yeah, obviously the 49ers made headlines with the big trade, but the Chiefs are just making headlines every week with the way they play. Another big dub.
Yes, it is. And that is the end of the lightning round, talking about every team here in the NFL that played in week 7. But let's move on over to some college football. Now, Mr. Yankovic, we're kind of becoming a little Tennessee Volunteer podcast here. I'm loving it. Like I said, I bought a lot of stock if we're brokers here. 65-24 Obviously, you let up too many points against Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. I didn't even know that was a college, I'll be honest. But they're 4-3. The Tennessee Volunteers remain undefeated. And they threw their backups in. I mean, you look at this, and they just took care of business, got up by big. Oh, they scored one. Okay, we'll go score again. So, Hendon Hooker is the dude, 276 for 3 touchdowns, just doing work. And the Tennessee, like, for scoring 62 points, the box score wasn't too blown up. I mean, obviously, I have Jalen Hyatt, who's going to be a high draft pick with 174 and 2 touchdowns. And then Macarius White probably get some bad things said how I mixed up his name, but he had 122 for a touchdown. So this receiving core is definitely helping out Hooker. And the rush game needs to be more dominant, I think, for Tennessee to be really the legit team in a college, like the top 4. But easy dub. That's the game you need after a very emotional win the week before. I think whoever put the schedule together was perfect. Because I think not this week, but next week, I think it's the big one. I think it's Georgia, Tennessee. So
Yes,
big
yes.
things.
I mean, but still, I mean, Tennessee's one of those teams that just has a tough schedule throughout. So, I mean, for them to get this break is probably needed. Yeah, we saw them play down to them a little bit, but at the end of the day, you win by 41. Come on now. Ain't really all that upset. I mean, that's 6 touchdowns. Let's be real. So they're all good. Big dub for them. But yeah, big time Tennessee supporters this year for the podcast.
Yes, it is. And like I said, they're going to have to get that run game a little bit more set in stone. Obviously, that defense, these fix the little things. You can't let up 24 against Tennessee Martin. But at the same time, they're playing some of the backups, trying to get those guys, those cats, some experience. But at the end of the day, Yank, Tennessee's the real deal. I mean, a 6.
I mean, we said they needed to be top 3, and they put them there. So they got their respect that they needed. So here we go.
You got to hold it.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, next up, we're going to talk about is we'll briefly talk about some kind of sad. Iowa Hawkeyes got blown out 10-54. Couldn't even cover the spread. They even tried the one thing I don't care. Yeah, Ohio is going to be the Big Ten champs. They're back. CJ Stroud's the real deal. He'll be a higher draft pick in the years to come. But 7-0 took care of business against sorry to say it, not a good Hawkeye football team. Hawkeyes are really going to scrape by trying to qualify for a bowl game. I really hope they do. I hope we go to some trash bowl and win it. That'd be awesome. But why throw in your substitute quarterback against the number 2 team when you're down by that much? You are not setting him up for success. And then you can say, see, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. You try to play him against the number 2 team in the nation. Backed up after you're already getting crushed. I think it was really dumb. Obviously,
I don't like the coaching decision. I can give you that. There's nothing good that's going to come out of that. I mean, when the defense is on a roll like Ohio State was against Iowa, we're looking for that's feasting territory for a defense. Is you're going to throw in your backup quarterback at the end of the game in trash garbage time, thinking you're going to do something. You're done. So I mean, it's. Yeah, I agree with you. Not the best coaching decision, but I mean,
but when you get blown out, you put your backups in.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, they need to keep him in. They need to keep him in because I can't watch this offense with Petrus at quarterback anymore. Man. It's bad.
I mean, 49 yards, 2 interceptions. I get it. You're playing the number 2.
You're a starting quarterback in D1 football. You don't break 50 yards and you play the full game. You better sit on the bench. I'm sorry. And
I mean, Padilla didn't do much better. He had 5 for 10, 20, 32 yards and a touchdown. I mean, an interception. Sorry, no touchdown. It stinks. It really does. And you just look at it. You have the Iowa Hawks got to do something different. Just not good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, definitely a struggle for the points this year.
Yes, it is. Now, hit me with it.
No, I was just going to go. The big one, honestly, I think it was on a lot of people's that was marked for this weekend was the Syracuse-Clemson game. That was the big one that I sat down and was able to watch a little bit. And I'll tell you what, man, Syracuse had them. They had them. They had them pinned down. You're up double digits at one point in the game. You're undefeated. You got to close that game out. I mean, obviously, shout out to Clemson for being able to make the comeback. They end up winning the game 27-21. But you got to close that game out when you have that. I mean, you literally had under 150 yards and 2 picks. You can't ask much more for your defense in that situation. I mean, you're the lower ranked team at that point. You're there for the upset. Your defense gave you every chance that you had to win that game. I mean, obviously, they ran for a bunch of yards, and that's a problem. Yeah, you run for 170 yards. That's a problem. That's a problem. But it's a top 5 team in the country. You gotta take away something, and they were able to manage taking away the passing game. And to me, that's a credit to their defense. You got to be able to close out the game at that point, especially when you have a 10-point lead. You have a 10-point lead. You're going to let them run back into the game. That makes no sense to me.
Once again, Clemson barely scrapes by beating a team. They should not be a ranked top 5. They're the, dare I say it, worst 8-0 team we've seen in a long time. I don't think that 8-0 has any credibility because every win they've had is close. I get it. They're winning close games. That's cool. But let's play some real talent. But at the same time, Syracuse was good. They came in undefeated. They had 2 picks on DJ, their quarterback, Ukulele, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
And then 130 yards. You win the football game when you hold out a passing team to those passing stats. But on the flip side, the rush game, 172. Average yards per carry, 6 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's the name of the book. And when you're struggling, when you're struggling, you need to run the football, and that's what Clemson did. I am not sold on this Clemson team at all. If they somehow make it into the playoff, I think they'll be the first one kicked out. I think it'll be an easy dub if like Tennessee's ranked 2, etc., or Georgia. You know what I'm saying? But they'll probably be ranked 3, and they'll face the 2 seed. Moving forward, if they keep on getting those dubs, Syracuse,
I'm waiting for that team to fall as well. I mean, there are a lot of close calls already this season. That's like the 4th or 5th really close game.
But if you look at a Yank, they play Notre Dame, which Notre Dame had a big W today. They play Louisville, they're going to win. Miami, I don't think they're going to win. And they play South Carolina. If South Carolina can knock off Clemson, boom, they're done. But if they go undefeated, it is so hard not to put an undefeated team in the college football playoff, especially if your name is Clemson.
Of course. Well, I mean, if they go undefeated, they're going to be in it. I'm sorry, they're going.
I don't think they're a top 4 team even with that undefeated record. I mean, they almost lost to Wake Forest. They almost lost to Syracuse. They almost lost to Florida State. I mean, I get it almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but Yank, I am not sold on this Clemson football team.
I'm not sold on them either. And you mentioned the last 4 games where they should win them all. But, I mean, those games are still all potential upsets. Those teams will play them tough. So we'll see what happens. But I'm with you. I don't agree. I don't look at them and go, that's the 8-0 team that we should be scared of. But
no, not at all.
At the end of the day, they're going to be 8-0. You can't knock a perfect season. Not for a Power 5 school. You can't.
I know if you're a Clemson fan, you're like, hey, yeah, we're 8-0. No, we're not going to apologize for it. I wouldn't either. I never apologize for undefeated teams, but they got to be better, and not really a tough road ahead of them either.
No, not at all.
Now,
that's all I got for them.
Yeah, nothing else about Clemson.
All right. Do you have another one?
Real quick, the last kind of team I want to talk about is the LSU Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after that first game of the season, I counted them out, right? No way. Bad blood. LSU is still in a rebuilding year, right? And here they come, blowing out Ole Miss, 45-20. They just had way more swagger, right? The week before that, they go beat Florida by 10. They lose bad to Tennessee, which, hey, that's okay. And they barely scrape by with Auburn. Like, obviously, they're in a tough conference as well. We get it. But keep an eye on them. Next week, they play Bama, November 5th. They're 18th right now, Bama 6th. Watch out. Like, they could be the team that really puts Alabama, say, see you later, go to a different bowl game. And it's at LSU. I don't know, Yank. I'm kind of creeping towards the Tigers upsetting. They're 6-2. They're ranked 18. They're finally showing that they're worth it here. I kind of want to speak it into existence.
I don't know. I believe that Alabama is like the staple one-loss team that always gets in. So, like,
well, guess what? Sometimes staples come loose.
Yes.
Staple remover, Tigers.
Yes, staple remover. I don't know. It's hard to say right now because yes, while it's a big win for LSU, they also are just coming off of a big upset of Florida. Like, they're playing great football right now, and they've only improved ever since that week 1 loss to FSU in the nose. But when you come back and you look at Alabama as well, how they respond from their loss to Tennessee in a good close game, they go out, they got a ranked opponent, Mississippi State, 24th ranked team in the nation. And they handle them easily, 30-6. Defense is absolutely dominant. Bryce Young comes out, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, they look phenomenal yet again, and they continue to impress against an opponent that is still a great team. I mean, you're a top 25 in the country. You're a good football team. Let's be real. So, I mean, they handle them easily with class. So it's going to be a good matchup. There's bad blood. It's a rivalry. But I don't see it as a true underdog threat as of right now to Bama.
You know what? Just because you said that, go Tigers. They're pulling out.
Go. If they do, cool. I mean, as somebody that's
just your vibe. I'm going with the Tigers.
All right. I truly for some reason, I'm so biased on Alabama. Like when they lose a game, I'm like, okay, they're not losing again.
Well, we shall see about that. It's going to be crazy. I think the big prop for them it is at Baton Rouge. It is in Baton Rouge, so I think that's kind of why I'm leaning towards them. Just because with the hot streak that they're on, I'm going to ride the hot hand here, and that would just be so bad for Bama. Like, boom.
That would be awesome for a fan of college football, though. It's been so long since we haven't had Bama in the CFP, so that would be so. It'd be cool to just have another team in there, another opportunity.
Yeah. Without a doubt, but that's all some college talk for me on my end.
Yeah, no, I was all good. I mean, I was jumping around. I looked at some of the good games that were out there. I know that there was the ranked game with Kansas State. Kansas State TCU. That was a 10-point game at the end of it all. That was going back and forth, the kind of high scoring game. That was good. I mean, I hear all about UCF around here. That's just inconsistent quarterback play, in my opinion. They're hit or miss, but they got some cool uniforms.
ECF, the Pirates, right?
No, ECF and UCF, yeah.
Yeah, ECF's the purple team with the Pirates. That if you ever play NCAA, like, all right, I kind of want to rock with them just because the jerseys. Yeah. Maybe that's your team when we get NCAA.
That's where my mother went to
college. Oh, there's some trivia for you here on the Mickey Zizzy Podcast.
Trivia, yeah, some trivia for you right there. East Carolina State.
East Carolina State University. Yeah. No, Yank, it's been all good in the football world. We're getting close to that halfway mark, which is super, super sad, but we can't dwell on that. We got to enjoy the football season. Make sure you go to the YouTube, y'all. Go check it out. Somebody's going to get that video out there. We have some awesome interviews that are going to be hitting the streams as well. And if you ever want to be on the podcast, please let us know. We got a few more lined up. And also, if you have any cool ideas, all right, hit us up. We love to do it. We love keeping the fans involved. And that is it from the Iowa side of the Mickey Zizzy Podcast.
Hey, the Iowa side is shining bright, and it's getting cold up there, bud. It's getting a little chilly up there.
Sure.
I'm a little bit worried. I got to be up there in a month, man. So
less than a month.
Yeah, less than a month, man. We got very exciting things to come. Looking forward to it. But no, Florida side of things, lost the flag football game today, gentlemen. It was ladies and gentlemen.
Zizzy's on the hot seat.
I'm hurt right now, but it's all right. We got a Halloween party tonight. Good vibes, good things coming.
My costume.
Going as the full gorilla, like full out gorilla, and my roommate is the banana. So we're going
nice.
So pretty excited about that. Y'all all see pictures, I'm sure.
All right.
If you're talking sports, this is a matchup. Mickey here with Zizzy. Yeah, we cutting it up. Just a couple athletic enthusiasts. You know what it is, the Mickey Zizzy Podcast. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.